Hi friends, it's me, Miss Diane at the Glenside Public Library, and I'm here to read you another story today. Today's story is about a lumberjack. A lumberjack that has a beard, a big, bristly beard, and a bird, and a porcupine, and a beaver move into the lumberjack's beard, and they live there together in his beard. Does it sound like it's going to be a funny story? Well, it is. So you can sit back and relax while I read you the story, The Lumberjack's Beard, written and illustrated by Duncan Beedie. It's such a good one. Big Jim Hickory was a lumberjack. He lived by the forest in a little log cabin. He had burly shoulders and a big, bristly beard. Every morning he did limbering up exercises. It's very important to limber up if you're a lumberjack. After a hearty breakfast of pancakes and maple syrup, Jim slung his trusty axe over his burly shoulder and headed out into the forest. That is my kind of breakfast. Chop, choppity chop, chop, choppity chop, went Jim's axe. Timber! Echoing through the valley as he felled tree after tree after tree. Say, look at that. I see a bird in the tree. Uh-oh, what's gonna happen to the bird? After a long day of swinging, whacking, cleaving, and hacking, Jim headed back to his cabin. That evening, when he was just about to go to bed, he heard a peck, peckety peck, peck, peckety peck at the door. Jim looked down to see a small and very angry bird. I had just built a new nest in my tree, shrieked the bird, and you chopped it down. Jim scratched his chin, and then he had an idea. Oh, I suppose you could move into my beard, he said. Very well then, said the bird, and in it flew. Sorry. The next morning, Jim woke up earlier than usual due to the birds chirping at the crack of dawn. Look at, there's the bird. He's eating the pancakes. Jim did his limbering up exercises, got dressed, and ate his breakfast, with a little help from the new tenant in his beard. Jim's next job was to strip all of the branches and leaves from the tree trunks and burn them in a big bonfire. After a long day of chopping, snapping, burning, and crackling, Jim trudged back to his cabin for a well-earned rest. No sooner had he put away his axe, and then he heard a noise at the door. Scratch, scratchety, scratch. Scratch, scratchety, scratch. he looked down to see a very angry porcupine. "I needed those leaves and pine needles to make a cozy shelter, but you burned them. Where am I going to live now?" snapped the porcupine. Jim thought and scratched his chin. "Well," he said, "I suppose you could move into my beard." He bent down and the porcupine crawled inside. It's getting a little crowded in his beard, isn't it? The next morning, Jim woke up earlier and attempted to do his limbering up exercises. He looked in the mirror and scratched his chin. Yow! He got porcupine quills in his fingers. Ouch! He tried to eat his breakfast, but he lost his appetite when he noticed, bird poop on his shirt. I wouldn't want to eat breakfast if I saw bird poop either. Jim's job that day was to float all the tree trunks down the river to the lumber yard, one by one. He rolled the logs into the fast-flowing water. Now look carefully. Who's that? Well, that's a beaver. His little sign says, "Home Sweet Home." That's his home. Uh-oh. And the logs are coming right for his home. Oh, no. After a hard day of lugging, splashing, rolling, and crashing, Jim staggered back to his cabin. Thwump, thwumpity, thwump. Thwump, thwumpity, thwump went his door. He looked down to see a very angry beaver on his doorstep. "I spent all day building my dam, and it got smashed to bits by those logs that you threw in the river," it snarled. Without a word, Jim picked up the beaver and put it in his beard. Between the birds chirping, the porcupines prickling, and the beavers thwumping, Jim didn't get much sleep that night. He was too tired to do his limbering up exercises in the morning, and the beaver's thwumping tail knocked his pancakes all over the floor. Oh no. Poor Jim isn't even going to get to eat breakfast. Uh-oh. There we go. "That's it!" cried Jim. "I can't take it anymore. You all have to move out today." "But where will we live?" cried the animals. As Jim scratched his chin, he had a brilliant idea. He went into his bathroom, took out a razor, and began to shave off his big, bristly beard. It's funny how the animals are all watching him as he's shaving his beard off. Then he took the hair and piled it up on his porch, and the bird, the porcupine, and the beaver all moved into their big, bristly new den. Look at them. They look happy. Oh, but look behind them. Do you see where Jim cut down all those trees? They really didn't have any other choice. They didn't have any place else to live because their trees are all gone, so they're going to have to live in his beard. That night, Jim slept better than he had for some time. He woke up and did some particularly vigorous limbering up exercises and put on a fresh plaid shirt. Then he made an enormous tower of pancakes and maple syrup. Isn't it funny how they're not showing us what his face looks like without his beard? He's covering it up here and here. Jim looked out the window at the bare ground where the forest used to be, and he scratched his now stubbly chin. Looks kind of sad, doesn't it? I'd miss the trees if I was Jim. Jim took his shovel and dug hole after hole after hole. And he planted tree after tree after tree. Oh, he's fixing the forest. Jim's beard grew back over time. You can see it's getting a little bit longer there. And a little bit longer there. And look, the tree. The tree is growing. The trees took quite a bit longer to grow. Do you see the snowman with the beard? These guys are funny. But it was worth the wait. Oh, isn't that a wonderful ending? Jim made 3 new friends and he replanted the forest. That is a good story. I hope you liked it. All right, let's see. I'll get my beard out again so you can laugh at me one more time. We're gonna make the bird and the porcupine and the beaver move out. All right, friends, thanks for being good listeners today. See you again soon.